All right, John Oakes here from Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. Today I am going to be going over this. This is our newest addition to our inventory, and it is a 1972 Plymouth Duster 340. Now, as you can see, ours is done in this nice orange exterior here. It does have the black Duster striping and badging on it, and it also has the black the snorkel style hood scoops here on this steel hood up front here. So again, it's a nice looking car here. As far as our wheels and tires, they've upgraded a good, again, it's a nice looking classic style wheel from American Racing. It's the Torq thrust wheel with that magnesium style center in it, the 5-spoke classic design, as I said. Set of Cobra Radial GT tires on this too. Up front we have 215/65 R15s. On the back we've got 255/60 R15s back there. Just a little bit of variance there in the tire sizes to give the car the stance that it really needs, and it looks really good with what it has. Now, as I mentioned, it's got the black stripes on it. Of course, we've got all of our bright work, the chrome bumpers, front and rear. Now, this car is void of wheellet moldings, and again, on these Mopars, I think it looks good without having those chrome wheellet moldings. Now, as you come back here, we do still have the bright drip rail moldings here. Of course, those are nice and straight, polished up really nice. If you run your fingers through the gutters here, the rain gutters, those are nice and smooth also. I always like to feel through them. Then, as far as the glass over here, on the sides, it is slightly tinted. There's no chips or cracks in any of the glass. Looks really good. Of course, more of that bright work and trim along the leading edge here of your quarter windows. Now, these quarter windows, they do not roll down. They just pop out at the back so that they let some air in there. And then you can see our gaps here on our door. Gaps are very uniform front to back there. Nice gaps the whole way around. All the body lines line up really nice. You've got the chrome driver's side mirror here as well. The chrome on it in great condition. Same thing with the glass in that mirror. Now, we are going to open our door up. We'll take a look on the inside. So as far as the interior goes, it's an all vinyl upholstery here as far as the seats go. You can see it's the white bench seat. Does have the high backs on it, and it's got the black and gray inlays on those seats. Of course, we've got the painted doors here, and then they have the white door panels, factory dash, 120 speedo on there. It's a column shift automatic. It's got the factory heater controls in it, and it's got your AM FM radio over there too. Black carpeting, black headliner as well. Real nice car, and it's got all of the seat belts in it as well. All of your weather stripping across the top here where your window comes up against, as well as the seals down your quarter window here, those are all in great shape. Now let's go ahead and close this up. Again, the door shuts very nice and easily. Good solid thud there so you know that it's closed. As we come back, fuel cap on this is painted same color as the body. You'll notice again our Duster stripe here. This is the correct and accurate stripe. 340 back here as well on the quarter panel. We'll come around the back side. Actually, let me grab the key real quick so that we can open the trunk for you. So again, on the rear of our car, across the back of it here, you'll see that black striping back here as well on the tail panel. You'll notice our deck lid here, nice gaps the whole way around and elevations. It lines up really good with the quarter panels. Of course, your rear window here, all of your moldings around there are in nice shape. No chips or cracks in this rear window either. Now back here, you've got the chrome bumper, and then down below you've got these oval slash cut tailpipes down there too to complete the look of the exhaust. So we're going to go ahead and open our trunk lid. Just bear with me. There we go. I got the right key on the first try. So the first thing you notice is that key does work the lock here. The hinges and the spring are doing what they should, and it's holding everything up on its own. The underside of the trunk lid painted the same color as the exterior of the car. And then of course you can see very clearly here, your weather stripping around that trunk is in excellent shape. meets right together here in the center. Again, this is going to seal up really nice. Of course, you see the trunk floor in here too. Again, very nice metal back here. There's no patching whatsoever. Of course, this is your spare tire provision. There isn't a spare tire, but again, you can see the condition of all that metal in here is in really good shape. So we'll close this up. Again, that closes nice, and we'll come around the passenger side now. Again, all the panels on this car, as you look from front to back and back to front, everything is nice and straight on this car. Again, you've got all the matching decals over there. You've already gone over the wheels and tires on the car. Now on this side, you'll see gaps on this door. Very uniform again, front and back side. Elevations are tied right in there with the front fender, as well as that quarter panel. And again, the glass on the passenger side is in great shape. Same thing with all of your moldings, and that rain gutter is nice and smooth on this side also. We'll open this door up. That way you get to see the interior from both sides. Again, the upholstery is in really good condition. No rips, no tears. Your dash pad, there's no cracks in it either. You've got the nice smooth panel back there on your package tray. And as I mentioned, it's got the black headliner, the black carpeting, and all seat belts present. We'll close that door, and again, it shuts nice too. Got your fender mount antenna here as well. And then we'll just come to the front of our 72 Duster here and finish up here. Now again, this is just your typical 72 front grille and headlight assembly. Traditional sealed beam headlight units up here. So your high and low beam all contained right here. Nice chrome bumper. The grille itself is in really good shape. There's no breaks in it or cracks in it. Looks all good over here. And like I said, now you can really see that hood and that snorkel style hood scoop that's on that hood. Of course, you got your Plymouth badging right here on the leading edge of the hood too. Now, if we look back here a little bit, you'll see our windshield. Again, no chips or cracks in the windshield. It all looks good too, along with all the bright work around there. Now we'll come up here. We're going to open our hood up next. So let me just take a peek and see where we need to open up at here. There we go. So again, the hood opens up nice and easily. The hinges and so forth are working as they should. Underside of the hood, all painted the same as the exterior of the body. When we look in here, as far as the engine compartment, all the same color, body color, and that's the way the Mopars were back in the day. Now, as far as the engine goes in here, this is a non-numbers matching 340, but it is a 340 cubic inch Mopar engine nonetheless. As far as your air cleaner, you can see it's a chrome Edelbrock air cleaner. This is a manual steering, manual brake car, but again, these Dusters, just like the Darts even too, they're a lighter car. You really don't need that power assist steering. They steer very easily on their own. Manual brake car, but the brakes work very well because you do have disc brakes on the front, drum brakes out on the rear. Now, as far as this goes, you've got a Holley Street Dominator intake. It does have an Edelbrock 1406 single feed 4-barrel carburetor on it. The ignition system remains stock, but it does have upgraded plug wires, or 8mm plug wires. As far as the radiator, you can see it's a nice polished aluminum radiator there from Champion with a 7-blade fan there. That's going to keep it nice and cool. And then as far as your exhaust system here, these are a set of long tube headers there, emptying into dual exhaust all the way back the car. And as we showed you around the back side, they do end up with those nice slash cut oval exhaust tips back there. So that's the motor. As far as the transmission, again, it does have an automatic transmission. It is the 904 automatic transmission. And then as far as a rear end, it's the Mopar 8 3/4 rear. It is a POSI unit inside that third member, and it is a 343 gear ratio. The only other thing to mention here, this car does retain the fender tag on it with all the codes on it. So that is probably about all to go over right now as far as the exterior of the car. Now, what we always do is we're going to go ahead and get this on the lift. We'll show you the complete underside of this. And then once we're all done with that, we'll go ahead and fire that 340 motor up and let you hear what that sounds like. Okay, so we are underneath our 1972 Plymouth Duster here. We're going to go through the underside as we always do, pointing out to you all the steering, suspension, braking, driveline components, frame, floors, exhaust, wheels, tires. So we'll start off with the front of our car here today. This is just going to be your stock K-member up front here. That all looks good as far as the front suspension. This is going to be just all pretty much your stock suspension for one of these cars. Your stock upper and lower control arms, of course, ball joints of which are all in good shape. Tie rods here on the steering, all four, all in great shape. Rubber dust boot covers are all intact. That's going to help keep the grease in and dirt and debris away from it. And then as far as the brakes up front, these are going to be disc brakes on the front. Now, as far as power steering, power brakes on this car, it does not have any of those. It's manual brake, manual steering. It is a non-original, non-numbers matching 340 cubic inch Mopar engine. Behind that is the 904 automatic transmission. Now our transmission, it's got the dust cover on it, the flywheel cover, so it's not going to allow anything to get in there and prevent, possibly cause a chipping of the teeth or anything. So that's all protected. As we look at the pans on both the transmission and on the motor, everything looks to be leak-free, no drips that I can see, so everything's nice and dry underneath here. As far as your transmission crossmember, it's right here, nice and straight also, tail shaft mount good and intact there too, and your seal at the back of the transmission where your slip yoke fits into it, that is nice and dry also. As far as your drive shaft goes, this is going to be a balanced drive shaft that's going to help eliminate a lot of the vibration that you may find in a drive line. And then of course, to finish off our drive line, we've got the 8 3/4 inch Mopar rear. It is a POSI unit in here, 343 gear ratio back here. Now as far as the rear suspension, you can see it's the multi-leaf rear suspension. Got just a typical set of just gas shocks back here, drum brakes on the rear. Now to finish off our braking system, we do have the emergency brake all hooked up here and in working order. Front cables, intermediate cables, and of course the rear cables going back to those rear drum brakes. And the exhaust on this car, we've got long tube headers, we've got dual exhaust all the way back here to these dual mufflers. And then of course these are the correct style tailpipe vent for the car. They go up over top of the rear end. And then they actually exit right underneath the rear bumper of the car with a nice set of slash cut oval exhaust tips there. Again, all of that looks to be in very good shape. Fuel tank has a stock fuel tank for this. The mounting hardware and straps and so forth, those are all in good shape also. Fuel lines and brake lines are all run right along the bottom of the car, for the most part right next to the pinch welds there. Everything looks to be routed nice and in good condition here. And for the floors and the frame section up front here, this looks to be nice and straight, good and square up here. As far as your floors go, it does have two patches in it, but they were done very nicely and very correctly. We've got a front pan and a rear pan on the driver's side, but again, everything was cut out nice and straight. A regular floor pan piece put in there, all seam sealed up and all coated underneath here. So again, they did do a good job of doing that, and it looks good. The rear frame sections, the dog legs up over top of the rear end, those are in great shape too, nice and straight all the way back. One thing I did fail to just kind of point out here on the front suspension, again, being that it is basically just your typical front stock suspension up here. Again, on the Mopars, you did have the torsion bar front suspension here, and it does have the strut links here that go up to the front of the frame there. The only other thing is wheels and tires. As far as the wheels go, these are 15/7s on the front and 15/8s on the back. These are the American Racing Torq thrust wheels. They've got that, like that gray magnesium center in them. And then as far as wheels, these are Cobra Radial GT tires, both front and rear. And the sizes on ours are 215/65 15s on the front and 255/60 R15s on the back. So that is pretty much it for underneath our Duster. We're going to go ahead and lower that now, and then we'll go underneath the hood and fire the motor up. That way you get a good chance to hear what that motor sounds like.